What up, what up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm MoedotJ and we are locked in. Now, there's been a lot of speculation on who's going to die in Power Book 2, Season 2. One thing we know about Power, there's always a significant death at the end of a season. And right now, we're trying to figure out who could it be. Now, we have 5 characters that could potentially be the ones that die. Lorenzo, Mecca, Monet, Carrie, and Drew. Now, me personally, I don't think it's going to be any of the other 4. Carrie would be the one I would pick just for the simple fact we see that they're bringing in a new professor, a woman professor in season 3. But before we jump into this article, shout out to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, you want to be a part of it, hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Hit that like button. It's the easiest thing you can do. Now, we're going to jump in this article and they have it broken down. I think it's 5-1 of who they think is going to potentially die. And I'm going to tell you why I think they should or they shouldn't. And if they do die, how the story could potentially shift around it. So let's jump into this article. The 5 characters that could potentially die in season 2 of book 2. We head over to cheatsheet.com and they have an article, Power Book 2, Ghost 5, characters who could die in season 2. After all the twists and turns, Ghost season 2, it feels like there's a lot left to uncover, but there's one thing that's certain is the death of a major character. Courtney Kemp confirmed such during a Q&A during an Instagram Live in January. She's known to follow a writer's concept that endings should be surprising. She referred back to Raina's death in the original series as an example. It was inevitable that someone was going to die because Tariq's actions, but surprising piece was that it was Raina. Now, I was surprised that Raina got killed. You remember she came out there, she confronted him. Hey, you messing with my brother Tariq. And Tariq was behind the wall watching. He wasn't a tough guy that he is now. He wasn't in the streets like that. But his sister shouldn't have confronted a grown ass man over that. All right. Number 1, they got Mecca. As the big bad of the season, that right there already told me, like, if we get rid of Mecca, who's going to be the enemy going into season 3? So they have him at number 1, though. Let's read up on this. As the big bad of the season, Mecca is one of the most obvious persons on the list. Cold and calculating. He's introduced as a drug supplier who ends up secretly with the Tejada family. It turns out he has a past with Monet, aka Nene Stewart. We knew Nene wasn't up to no good. Lorenzo in there, she out here wilding out. He should know Monet isn't his sweet Nene anymore. She's vicious, aggressive, and especially hates being lied to. That's crazy. Monet hates being lied to when all she does is lie. Well, I guess if you look in the mirror and you see yourself, you are a reflection of yourself. So if you're a liar, you're going to hate a liar. Imagine what would happen if she or her husband finds out Mecca has been playing them this entire time. Now, what I could see is Mecca leaving. If they do kill Mecca off, that means we will be introduced with a new bad guy next season. Unless the Tejada families, they split up and go that route of beefing within the family. So Mecca could be a person that disappears because you can always bring in another drug dealer, somebody from New Jersey or another drug dealer in New York. So Mecca at number 1, he would be the easiest to get rid of and it would cover up him being Zeke's real father. Number 2, they got Lorenzo. At the same time, Monet has been so blind to everything this season that it seems Mecca could very well succeed in swaying Monet to be with him and getting rid of a Lorenzo. Maybe Lorenzo's efforts are to persuade Drew Tejada to take over, even a little bit of foreshadowing. Now, I mentioned that if they get rid of Lorenzo, this would be easy to promote Drew up and then have the little storyline between Kane and Monet versus Drew and Mecca, because you seen the video I made where Lorenzo versus Mecca, yeah, and you see Kane was with Mecca and Drew was, you guys are following what I'm saying here. Whatever the case, it could certainly be a surprise considering Lorenzo just got out of prison, but perhaps given Monet's recklessness, it could be interesting to see how it will affect Monet's relationship, particularly with Diana, a true daddy's girl. Now, if Lorenzo dies, it would either have to be by the hands of Monet, Kane, or Mecca. Those are the only 3 that I could see doing that. But that would make Diana really resent them. And when you think about it, Lorenzo is another easy character you can get rid of. Okay, he's a drug dealer, he's gone. We already did a whole season with him in jail. So the Tejada family without Lorenzo, we could still have a story. We just had a whole season without Lorenzo. So I could see him at 2. Number 3 is Drew. Our main argument here rests on the inspiration behind Drew. Kim said his character was partially influenced by Michael Corleone of The Godfather. Now, Michael Corleone, he was a bad man. Drew, he's trying to get there. He hasn't evolved into no Michael Corleone yet. So I could see them taking bits and pieces of it, but no. Michael was totally different. And I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about. When Drew was at the dinner table. His hot-headed brother Sonny was supposed to succeed the Corleone after Vito's death, but Michael took over. So that's the same thing. The younger brother's taking over instead of Kane taking over. Now, there is going to be a big divide between Kane and Drew, but the roles are reversed in power. Drew being the initial pick to take over the family business. So people are so many people expect Kane to die that it could be overlooking signs about Drew. Now, I think Drew could be the easier one out of him and Kane, just for the simple fact Kane is the new Kanan. Now, we can go another season. We already see Kane and Tariq about to get together. So removing Drew, who doesn't really have a significant part in the show, I mean, he does. But if you remove him and keep Lorenzo, then the next person in the organization will be Kane. So you can easily remove Drew and still continue on the story. Monet comes in at number 4. All season long, Monet has been messing up. I tell y'all this every week. Monet and Kane together, horrible. Monet has to be the worst mother in the Power universe. Shout out to Tariq for calling her out on it. And shout out to Mo. Course correct is failing. She's playing with fire, oscillating between Mecca and Lorenzo. How long before it all blows up in her face? Granted, she is a prominent character. It is hard to imagine her dying, but maybe that's the point. It came out what they're paying Mary J. Blige, aka Monet, aka Nene Stewart. What she's getting paid, 50's not going to kill her off. Just because that's bringing in the older, that older crowd. It's a whole demographic that rocks with Mary J. Blige along with Method Man. So you're not going to kill Monet out. Not with what you paying her. And the ratings are this high? Nope. Monet's not going to go. Now, it would be a good death in the show. Don't get me wrong, but she's not going to go. And last but not least is Carrie. And I would have had Carrie at number 1. Carrie Milgram just wants justice for her former friend and lover, Jabari Reynolds. She doesn't want justice. This line right here should have been Carrie Milgram wants all of the eyes off of her because she was sleeping with a student, Ezekiel Cross. She doesn't want to be fired. That's what this should have read. Not wants justice for her former lover. Because she didn't really like Jabari like that. But she's a huge part. But she's put on a huge target on her back in pursuit of it. If she goes away, so does a lot of the attention surrounding the case. We just hope it doesn't come to that. Now, you can easily get rid of Carrie. Kill Carrie off, bring in a new teacher. We continue to rock out. This new teacher is going to be attractive too, but she's not going to be dealing with no students like that. She's going to probably be a hard, stern teacher. So removing Carrie and Jabari, both of them out of this, now we can just worry about the kids and the students at the school with the drugs. And it would still have the same storyline. It wouldn't be any different without Carrie, just like it's no different without Jabari, except for his who murdered her. Now, could they have Carrie just leave the state? Because you seen that she froze up during the speech. So it'd probably be more likely that Carrie would leave. But if they killed her off, it would still work too. There you go. The 5 people we think may die off at the end of this season. Carrie, Monet, Drew, Lorenzo, Mecca. Let me know which one of these 5 you think would be the best to kill off and the story could still go on, and which one would be the least. If you were to kill them off, it would kind of mess up the story. Let me know what you guys think below. I'm MoedotJ. If you like the content on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on a beat, boy.